Can the people live a productive life without the Bible, brother?
Well, this is controversial, right? So let me bust it down real quick.
Go ahead.
Absolutely.
Oh man!
Absolutely.
So if we can live a productive life without the Bible, do you know what you're saying, brother?
I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
Go ahead. Let me make it
Right?
clear. Go ahead.
So let's be extremely clear. King David never seen the Bible. And King David is taught in the Bible as being a person who held to the moral compass of the Bible, i.e. the Torah. Solomon never had a Bible. Watch this. This might bug you out even further. Moses himself never had a Bible, as it were, because when we talk about Bible, we're talking about the full spectrum of the Old Testament. So when I say that we can live without the Bible, I'm pointing out the fact that our ancestors were able to live by a certain moral compass without the need of any written book. But this moral compass was always communicated through a divine creator. Even our neighbors below us in ancient Kemet concede the same idea. Their moral precepts come or stem from divinity. And they say that they did not need a book to communicate that. So my point is, Abraham never seen the first 5 books of Genesis. But the Torah itself teaches us that Abraham kept the entire law. Moses himself never seen the books of Joshua, Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Daniel. Obviously, these are people that come much more after him. Moses himself and his father, more important, Amram, is said to have lived Torah even before Torah was introduced to the nation of people. Most people don't read, quote unquote, the Bible, really. Most people definitely don't even read the Torah. If you read the Torah, which is Genesis through Deuteronomy, the first thing you learn is that the moral compass given to the children of Israel, purportedly, I say for argument's sake, for those who don't accept the narrative, the moral compass given to the children of Israel on Mount Sinai is not the first time that these people and their ancestors were privy to these thoughts and ideas. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 26, verses 4 through 5, Abraham obeyed my voice, kept my statutes, my judgments, my commandments, and all my laws. Abraham is much before Moses. So my point to you, Sarnetta, is let's be clear on something, and let's also use common sense, right? Even the Torah itself lets us know we don't need a book to practice morality and to become aligned with divinity. Our moral compass has always been something that was first and foremost in our heart, in our mind, and embedded within our psyche. That's first and foremost, because man was created in that divine image. So what that entails is that we already have that.
Yeah.
The moral compass given to those people known as the Hebrews or the children of Israel existed before there was a written book. Obviously, we didn't have celebrations such as Passover, which also come together to form the Torah or the 613 commandments. But what a lot of people fail to realize is that Abraham is taught in the Bible to have kept God's entire law. But he didn't keep all 613. So you have to ask yourself a question. What does it mean to say that Abraham kept all of the Torah when we know all 613 didn't exist during his period? Well, the common sense within that simply and first and foremost is going back to Adam in the garden. Adam was given 2 commandments. Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and replenish it. Period. And he was also told not to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, according to the edicts within the Bible. In comes Noah. He comes off the ark. He got 7 commandments. The commandments are stepping up now. You're seeing more and more. But each time you're seeing more commandments, the quintessential background thought is that the era is more wicked. So when you live in an era that's more wicked, obviously you need more laws. our ancestors in Africa. I'll go back as far as ancient Kemet. Ancient Kemet does not have the 42 laws of Ma'at in the Middle Kingdom, nor do they have it in the Old Kingdom. The 42 laws of Ma'at is a New Kingdom innovation. When you read the Sabiat literature, when you go into Ptah Hotep, the maxims of Ptah Hotep, you do not encounter 42 negative confessions. They are much fewer in number. The difference between the era of Ptah Hotep and the era of the New Kingdom is that wickedness is that much more rampant. So when wickedness increases, laws increase. So my point in saying this to you is our earliest ancestors needed no book to memorize a moral compass because there were very few to remember. They already had a great level of spirituality and spiritual ideology implanted within their heart, their mind, their soul. They did not need 42 negative confessions, 613 commandments. This generation does. Akin and similar to the fact that if you go back and you check the law books in this country alone, you'll notice that every single year, America adds no less to 300 to 400 new laws. Mind you, this is just in different districts. We're not even talking about on a national level. New York City, check the penal code in New York City. See how many laws were added to the penal code in New York City statute just last year alone. Why? Technology increased. So because technology increased, what we always say increases. The thief mine. When technology increased, the person that's going to defraud, he has to excel as well, right? So what they have to do, enact new laws. When computers were brought in, right, we had a certain amount of laws in the country. But when hackers began to hack various computer systems, we needed new laws, correct? So with the increase of violence and wickedness comes the influx of new laws. My point ultimately to you is that at the core heart of it all, the only thing man needs to do is akin to what I want to say our greatest sages and ancestors teach. What is the whole duty and purpose of man? We have a duty to God and we have a duty to our fellow man. So in reference to how do we deal with our fellow man, my ancient ancestors from the Hebrew lineage would say, that which is distasteful to you, do not unto your brothers. And your other duty is that you have a duty to recognize that the divine dwells within you. That's an actual duty, because if you do not recognize that there is a divine that dwells within you, you are going to move in this world like a savage. So my ancient ancestors told me the entire Torah could be summed up in 2 commandments. The idea that we have a duty to God and we have a duty to our fellow man. And with regard to our fellow man, that which is distasteful to you, do not do to your brother. And with regard to our duty to Creator, you must recognize that divinity dwells within you. Because if you don't recognize that divinity dwells within you, or that you have an aspect of divinity, then you will move as a savage in this world.